going on, you guys? It is me, no other than the Bronzemarley. And I'm the greatest edition of YouTube 2019, and here we are in 2022, and I've been the greatest edition and asset here on out. So when I join the compact, baby girl, I want you to be here. You want to be here. You high-key need to be here, love, just because we serve looks. We sometimes serve a little bit of tea, but overall, baby girl, we just be serving. So for today's video, you guys, if you cannot tell by the title, this is going to be a very extensive and in-depth tutorial for those who want to, I guess, embark on their makeup artistry journey, or just those of you who just want to have some sort of an everyday makeup routine for yourself. Now, this video is going to be a little bit longer, I'm assuming, in regards to the knowledge that I'll be giving and how in-depth I'll be talking. But realistically, this is a makeup routine that I want you guys to practice on working on getting down to at least 15 to 20 minutes. If you can get it to 10, which is essentially the goal, I trust that you can and will do it. There's so much knowledge, so many different techniques, and so much information that I'm going to be giving you guys in this video. So please be sure to follow through the entire video. Grab your pen, grab your paper, and take notes. Also, you guys, this is going to be, I guess, like the first installation of a series that I want to do in regards to makeup artistry and beginner-friendly makeup for you. So for today, this is more so about the key concepts of achieving a natural everyday face. And then, of course, I want to extend it to being able to show you guys how to achieve structured and sculpted eyebrows, in regards to finding the right blushes, in regards to how to apply lipsticks, in regards to how to contour the nose, in regards to how to apply false eyelashes and eyeliners, and so on and so forth, so that you'll have all the necessary ingredients in order to make sure that you have a smooth sailing makeup artistry journey. Also want to tell you guys that the information and the knowledge that I'm giving you guys in this video is, of course, from my personal experience and what I've learned in my artistry journey, as well as key points and tricks that I've learned from makeup artists and professionals that I personally follow and admire. With that being said, there's no right or wrong way to apply makeup or how to do makeup, but there are a lot of necessary things that I think that you guys would benefit from that, like I said, will assist you in your journey. So I'm doing enough rambling as it is. So without further ado, you guys, let's get straight on into the video. So of course, before going into anything in regards to makeup, you want to make sure that your skin is taken care of and it is prepped properly. So I'm not going to necessarily give you direct products in regards to what to put on your face for your skincare routine, just because I am not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, I am simply just a makeup artist. So what works for me may not work for you. However, I would recommend finding yourself either a skincare representative or professional, or even just securing some sort of regimen for yourself that is comfortable for you. Now, the importance of skincare, and I'm actually just gonna go ahead and start applying my skincare while I'm talking to y'all. But the importance of skincare or skin prep is you want to always ensure that your skin is taken care of underneath your makeup. Makeup is not an end-all, be-all. Makeup is not a corrector. Makeup is literally just an enhancement to what's already there. So oftentimes people think that applying makeup will allow them to cover up texture, will allow them to cover up any imperfections. And although makeup can and will cover up discoloration, if it's a severe skin concern, if it's a severe skin issue, 9 times out of 10, it's only going to do more detriment to your skin than it is going to do benefit. So right now for my skin, I'm actually just applying my retinol and vitamin E day cream. Always want to make sure that your skin is hydrated for sure. I know those of you who are probably thinking, oh, I have oily skin, I don't want to put, no. There's a difference between using an emollient product and opposed to using something that's going to, oh my God, here. Opposed to using something that's simply just going to hydrate and moisturize and nourish your skin. They do make moisturizers and hydrators for those of you who do have oily skin, as well as those of you who have dry skin. Now I'm just going in with my vitamin C. And all of this is, I don't want to say it's unnecessary, because it is necessary for my personal benefit. But if you just go in with a really nice moisturizer before going in with any primer, any makeup, or whatever, you will be set. And last but not least, in my skin prep, I'm just going to go ahead and apply some sunscreen. Now, sunscreen is very necessary. Actually, I do want to touch on that. Sunscreen is very necessary in regards to your makeup routine, especially if you're a person of color, especially if you have skin issues, but more so if you're someone who's going to be out, especially in this time. You want to make sure that if you're exposed to sun, that your skin has some sort of shield, some sort of veil, some sort of protection on top of it. Not only that, sunscreen really helps to treat those dark spots or those sunspots. So like I said, oftentimes we as people of color, especially as Black folk, we don't think that we need to apply sunscreen, but it's actually even more beneficial and necessary to us as well. And voila, my skin is taken care of. So now we can move on into the nitty-gritty in regards to makeup. So I do just want to give the forewarning again, when it comes to certain products, I'm not going to necessarily give you all of the products that I'm using just because some of them are a little bit higher end, and being that this is a beginner's makeup routine or beginner's makeup tutorial, I would of course want this to benefit you in a way that it's not going to hurt your pockets as well, especially if you're just starting out, if you're just trying to get out, if you just want to play around, etc. Yes, there are a lot of affordable options that I'm going to be using. However, when it comes to product references and, you know, beginners and stuff like that, I do plan on doing a lot more content and videos so that you can have options in regards to picking out different products for yourself. Right now, I truly want you guys to focus on the technique and the knowledge that's being presented to you. So, being that we went ahead and we took care of our skin is looking amazing, it's feeling great, we're nice, we're plump, we're hydrated. It's time to go in and protect our skin from the makeup. What I mean by that is that makeup 9 times out of 10 has a lot of emollients, a lot of oil-based products, and if it's not oil-based, you do have makeup that truly does seep into the skin. So making sure that your skin is taken care of and your skin is prepped properly, 100%. But you also want to make sure that you are prepping your skin so that you can apply makeup on top of that, and that's why primers are necessary. When it comes to primers, oftentimes a lot of primers serve different purposes. For instance, the one that I'm going in with today is more of a mattifying primer. I'm gonna be real, it's not my favorite primer in the world, but it is going to act as a veil to protect my skin from the makeup seeping into it. It's almost like going in with like two different shields in a sense. When it comes to primers usually help your makeup to last a little bit longer. Like I said, fills in your pores so that the makeup doesn't seep through it. Also, based on the particular primer and its claims and benefits, it'll actually be a component that'll help determine the finish of your makeup. So if you're going in with a mattifying primer, it's going to help to ensure that your makeup is going to be a little bit more on the matte side. If you're going in with a primer that gives you more of like a velvety finish, it'll help with that. If you're going in with the primer that gives you more of an illuminated glow underneath your makeup, it's going to help to make sure that you have more of a dewier approach or a dewier finish in your makeup. So take all of these into consideration. When it comes to makeup and your makeup routine, your makeup application, whatever may have you, you always want to know what you want your face to look like. The questions that you need to be asking yourself is, what are my goals in regards to the final product of my makeup application? Do I want my skin to look oily? Do I want my skin to look glowy? Do I want no shine whatsoever on my skin? Also, how do I want my face to feel? Do I want to feel as though I'm wearing a caked up face? Do I want it to feel light and airy? It's like there's so many different components in regards to makeup. So before even going in and saying that I want to do makeup, I want to apply makeup, what do you want to look like? What do you want to feel like? These are all questions and components that are going to help to ensure that when it comes to your personal makeup application, you're getting every single thing, every single target, and if it doesn't come out how it's supposed to, I mean, you can only blame yourself for that. But like I said, these are necessary questions that you need to ask yourself, even if it comes to a point where you literally have to write down your goals. Doing that alone will allow you to target how to accomplish it. Moving on, I am personally going to do some color correcting. Now, this is a step that is not necessary in regards to most people, especially if you are female and you're watching this. I noticed that a lot of females don't have to color correct. It is optional, and I don't personally have to, especially like days like today when I am freshly shaven. But there are times where I do have like discoloration, which can be kind of sort of an inconvenience in a lot of different instances. So, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and color correct really fast. Color correcting, I can go ahead and give you a brief little lesson on that. If you are someone who is a person of color, I definitely recommend going in with an orange color corrector or a peach color corrector so that it'll help to neutralize the discoloration and bring back that even complexion with your skin tone. Me personally, I don't necessarily walk out with just color corrector on, although you can. I don't personally do it because just going in with a peach or an orange, it doesn't necessarily neutralize out with my undertone, making my skin even. It just makes it a little bit more warmer on the lower portion of my face or wherever I decide to place the color corrector. Now, me personally, I like to blend out my color corrector with a brush because number one, it saves me time, but number two, it also helps to diffuse out the product so that it's not caking up my face and it gives me a nice softer application. So in a sense, going in with color corrector can kind of sort of be makeup prep or skin prep because this isn't your makeup. This is kind of sort of going along. And as you guys can see, like I said, it helped to neutralize out that discoloration so that my skin looks to be a lot more even. Now, I actually can give some recommendations in regards to color corrector. Two of my favorites have come from LA Girls or LA Colors and also MAC. So from LA Colors, you have the orange color corrector, and from MAC you have the peach luster color corrector. And when it comes to color correctors that I personally listed, those of course benefit more so people of color and brown folk. But when it comes to anyone who is more of a fair complexion or whatever may have you, you want to go with a color corrector that's going to suit and flatter your personal skin tone. So like I said, when it comes to color correctors, it's contingent upon your personal skin complexion. Let's move on to foundation. So I'm actually going to be going in with one of the simplest methods, and that's using a stick foundation. I'm going to be using my Black Opal foundation stick in the shade Beautiful Bronze. I'm literally going to apply streaks all over my face. And you don't want to go too heavy with this. Now, me personally, I like a little bit more coverage. So like I said, it's contingent upon what your necessary goals are in regards to your finish and also how you like to feel in regards to your makeup. I am not new to this. I'm very much true to this. I've been doing makeup for quite some time now. I personally know the type of coverage that I'm going for. So going in with this much, I actually think that this would be enough, maybe even more than enough for someone who is just now starting off in their makeup journey. Now, one tip that I will give is that less is always more. The reason being is that when it comes to applying makeup or when it comes to doing anything, if you start off with little, you can always add on to it. However, if you start off with so much, it's a little bit harder to work around that and to take it off. So when it comes to, like I said, if you apply too much foundation, you're either going to have to deal with the fact that your face is going to be a little bit more cakey than usual, or you're going to have to either start all over and wipe it off. Which is okay, which is perfectly fine. If you're someone who's just now starting off anyway, you're gonna find yourself getting to that point where it's just like, okay, well, I don't like how this is looking, so taking it off and starting over, I actually recommend it. Now, me personally, when it comes to my foundations, especially my stick foundations, I like to go in with brushes, but being that this is a beginner's makeup tutorial, and this is also something that I want you guys to be able to accomplish in under 15-20 minutes, I'm going to be using a sponge for most of my blending and my applications for this routine. So I'm going to be using this jumbo, super large beauty sponge from Sonia Kashuk. My sponge is damp. You do want to make sure that your sponges are damp when you are applying your makeup, just because I find that they, number one, help to take off some of that excessive product, but they also help to make sure that you have more of a skin-like finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and literally beat my face. Now, when I say beat your face, I don't mean go super ham and like pounce your face. Like, don't beat yourself up. But you do want to make sure that you are hitting your skin as opposed to sweeping your skin to ensure that you're not taking off too much coverage. But also going in with this motion is going to build that habit of blending all of your products like this so that when it comes to blending out your concealer, you're not swiping your foundation off, you're not swiping your concealer off. You're literally just pouncing everything into the skin. Now, when it comes to applying foundation on the forehead, me personally, I find as though that's one of the dead giveaways to figure out that you're wearing either makeup or wearing a lot of makeup. So to avoid having like a caked up face or especially a caked up forehead, I don't put foundation directly on my forehead. I actually take the leftover residue from the brush and or sponge that I'm using, and I literally like to sweep whatever's left over my forehead, and sometimes I'll tap it in. But this is just to ensure that I do have some sort of balance between the top portion of my face as well as the lower half. Now let's move on to concealing. Personally, I do like a bright under eye, not super bright, but I do like my face to have a lot of different dimensions. However, I noticed that the everyday average person, girl, guy, whatever, who's applying makeup, they don't like to do too much in regards to going super bright under their eyes or wherever on their face. So for that personal reason, I'm actually going to bite the bullet and I'm going to go with something that's a little bit closer to my skin complexion. So I'm going to be taking my concealer, and I know y'all, my Milani 145 is just calling me right now, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take my concealer and This one is a liquid. You can use a liquid or a cream, but I actually prefer, if you're a beginner and you're just doing makeup on yourself, to go with something that has a doe foot applicator so that you don't have to either squeeze it out, pump it out, whatever may have you. It's a lot easier to apply, like so. Now I'm going directly under my eye, and I'm not gonna bring it too far down because this is, like I said, an everyday application. So I'm gonna keep it as close to my eye as possible, but still making sure that I have somewhere to blend out and create dimension and depth in my face. And then we're also gonna go down the bridge of our nose just to help with some reverse contouring, and also around our mouth. So because my concealer that I use today is a little bit on the liquidier side, I'm going to give you guys some tips and knowledge while it's tacking down a bit. So in regards to choosing out a concealer shade, you want to go with something that's anywhere between 1 to maybe no more than 2.5, 3 shades lighter than your actual foundation shade and skin complexion. You also want to make sure that you're paying attention to the undertones in your product as well. If you have more of a warmer undertone, or even if you have a cooler undertone, you want to make sure that your concealer is, in a sense, on the opposite end of that spectrum. Not too far on the opposite end of the spectrum, but so that your skin can have some sort of neutrality within it. You want to make sure that, as you can see, my concealer is a little bit more yellow, which is on the cooler spectrum, than the rest of my face. Now, in regards to the specific places that I placed my concealer, I placed them in places that I did want them to be a little bit more amplified in regards to the light hitting them. If you notice, I placed them on the higher points of my face. Under my eyes, I sometimes place them on my cheekbones, on my chin, my bridge of my nose, etc. These are all places where the light naturally hits it and it highlights the face. These are the high points of the face. Why that's necessary is because when you're doing contouring, when you're doing bronzer and blush and etc., everything should create dimension so that your face isn't flat. So now that this has sat down, I'm going to take that same beauty sponge and I'm going to start blending this out. Now, I'm starting off with my chin because I do want my under eyes to achieve its maximum coverage. So I'll wait to blend that out until everything else is blended around it. And like I said, in regards to the motion, you do want to make sure that you're using pouncing motions as opposed to sweeping and swiping. Now, in regards to blending out your concealer, I recommend using a sponge just because you can have a little bit more control, but also a little bit more fun with it as well, and you don't have to be as precise. But also, to blend out your concealer, you want to make sure that you're focusing the product exactly where you placed it, but to make sure that everything is blended and is married together, you can blend it down some into your foundation, but also don't hesitate blending your concealer around your eyes up into your temples. Like I said, this is where the light is going to hit your face naturally, so you want to make sure that when you're turning sideways that your face isn't just cut off by you not blending your concealer or your foundation, whatever may have you, as outward as possible. Look at that. Look at that. Now, before we finish blending everything out, I do want you to go ahead and start prepping your under eye powder so that you can instantly go into setting your eyes right after this step. It is necessary to have some sort of mirror, handheld mirror, or whatever within arm's reach so that you're able to look up when blending out your concealer to make sure that you're getting into those crevices and creases under the eyes. I know that a lot of times people complain about their under eye creasing, their under eye bags, but if you're applying your makeup while you're looking down or while you're drooping your face, I mean, you're only going to enhance, like I said, those creases, those crow's feet, you're just going to enhance it. So you wanna make sure that you're looking up so that you're extending that skin, you're extending that eye, and you're really getting into those crevices. And now it's time to set our face. Being that I looked down a couple of times, I'm going to just look back up to make sure that all of my creases are blended out, because we never ever want to set a crease. If your goal is to camouflage and disguise that, why would you go ahead and apply powder directly on it? Powder is what's going to set everything in and lock everything in addition to your setting spray. But that setting powder is truly what's necessary in regards to making sure that the creams and liquids that you used prior do not move. To set my under eyes and some of the places where I place my concealer, I'm actually going to be using a brush. This brush is the A22 brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. However, any small fluffy brush will work. So I'm going to take my brush, dip into my powder, and tap off the excess so that it's not cakey whatsoever. I'm going to look up at the ceiling and I'm going to pat under my eyes and then sweep the rest. And voila, look how smooth and how mattified this looks, but it still looks like skin. It actually disguised a lot. So again, we're gonna tap into our product, tap off the excess. So we're gonna look up And like I said, we're going to press directly under the eye to make sure that number one, we have the product saturated. And then once we have it covered just enough, we're gonna take whatever's left on that brush and we're going to lightly sweep it around the rest of that area. Some other places that we're gonna use this powder to set our face is going to be around our nose and mouth area. And then we're gonna take it and we're literally gonna go up and down the nose. It does not have to be perfect whatsoever. And then of course, because we don't want everything else to just look so oily and slick, I mean, if that's the look that you're going for, I guess. But no, I'm gonna take this large fluffy brush and I'm gonna take my pressed face powder. This one is actually from MAC. This is in the shade Dark Deep. And as you see, I need to get me another one. But I'm literally gonna sweep this brush into my product and I'm going to lightly blend and set everywhere else on my face. So I'm kind of sort of doing a stippling / blending motion. Now, if you notice, I'm using a product that actually has color to it because if you're a beginner, number one, I want to make it as simple for you as possible. So going in with a translucent powder can be a little bit more intimidating to people who think that their face is going to just look ashy after their makeup. I know that's a misconception that a lot of people have, especially if they're not familiar with makeup, if they're not familiar with makeup artistry, and if they truly just judge books as they're reading it as opposed to once they finally read it. You know, me personally, I always get those, I don't want to say clients because I usually don't work with them. I always get someone who will inquire about a service and then they'll complain about, I don't want to look ghostly, I don't want to look ashy, and this, that, and third. And I 100% respect that and I understand that. Tell me exactly what it is that you want. But I also have to reassure them that, number one, when you see my face, does my face ever look ashy? Does my face ever look ghostly? And I'm always curious, like, you know, what makes you think that you're going to look like that? And 9 times out of 10, it's because they judge it in the process. When they see a translucent powder, when they see even a banana powder, a brightening powder, when they see things like that, they're always afraid and intimidated. But it's also a matter of truly trusting the process. But that's like a pro tip right there. When it comes to beginners, like I said, we're going in with products that actually have a little bit of color to it because it's going to ease that discomfort for you a lot more. And now that my face is set, let's go ahead and move on to some blush and bronzer. So you can use the same brushes for a lot of these routines. Me personally, being that I have designated brushes for designated steps in designated products, I'm gonna be using different brushes. But the same brush that you use to set your under eyes or even to set your entire face can be the same brush that you use to apply your blush, to apply your bronzer. If you decide to contour, then apply your contour as well. Now, let me tell you guys why I will not be contouring today. Contouring is one of those things that is not necessary in regards to a lot of routines, especially an everyday routine. If you find yourself wanting a routine that's gonna take about 10 minutes, contouring is one of those things that you truly need to avoid unless it serves a specific purpose for you. I think oftentimes when we see people with makeup routines, even the one that I'm creating for you guys today, we think as though we have to follow it by the book. No, it's great. It's truly great to truly follow a routine, gain the knowledge, gain the information, and even try it out on yourself sometimes. However, the benefits of makeup and what I find truly beautiful is the fact that there's no right or wrong way of doing things. So me personally, when it comes to a lot of my clients, I don't contour them, especially if I'm doing a soft glam, a natural soft glam. If they're doing a full glam and they truly want to be sculpted, then that's when we bring out the good works and then we start to contour and then we really go in. But if you guys notice, a lot of times on my face, I don't contour, and that's because I don't want my face to look a lot more boxier. And I'm not saying that contouring just instantly makes your face look boxy, but I don't like my features to be enhanced. Contouring really does enhance and kind of sort of emphasize the depths and shadows in the face. And for me, I like my face to look a lot more round, and I do also like my face to look a lot more feminine. Contouring on my masculine features would do nothing but enhance them, and sometimes it makes me look sickening for sure. But usually what I do like, especially for an everyday approach, is to go in for something light and soft and, you know, I guess a lot more round and youthful. I'm going to be going into bronzing. Bronzing and contouring are things that oftentimes go hand in hand in a sense. Contouring, like I said, emphasizes the natural shadows in your face and natural depth. But when it comes to bronzing, bronzing actually brings back warmth to your face. You sometimes put them in the same places of your face. However, bronzing goes just a little bit above it. So let's say we contour in the hollows of our cheeks. we would go maybe, I'm not great with measurements, you guys, but we would go just a little bit above our contouring lines, and that's where we would apply our bronzer. So when it comes to applying bronzer, I like to apply those in my cheek areas. And I also like to smile when it comes to applying these products. Like I said, and you guys are gonna hear me say a lot of times, especially if you're a client of mine, I like to go for more of a youthful, not even doll-like approach, but just a youthful, fun, and lifted look. So I always make sure that I smile. I tell my clients to smile when it comes to applying bronzer and also when it comes to applying blush, because you really want to emphasize the natural shape of your cheekbones. But if you do have more of a droopier face, more of a narrower face, then going in and smiling will truly help to lift it. So I'm just gonna go in circular motions, and I'm going to blend this back into my temples and into my hairline. And also be mindful to the amount of pressure and also the motions that I'm using to blend this out. I'm going in circular motions, and I'm also using a very, very light to touch amount of pressure. It should truly feel like feathers on your face when you're blending it out. It shouldn't feel harsh. Your brush shouldn't be pressed into your face. I mean, you can, it just depends on the type of look that you're going for. But if you press it into your face, it's more so going to give you a smushed face from what I've learned. So literally just going in and softening that area up will give you a light and airy look. And like I said, I do like to blend that up to my temples and also the perimeter of my forehead. And this is just to, of course, create that balance. So as you guys can see, one side of my face looks a lot more warmer than the other side. Of course, we can sweep whatever's left on the brush back in our jawline and on our neck. And I like to go back as far as, ooh, child. And I like to go back as far as to my nape of my neck. Like I said, I'm all about blending in, and I never want it to look as though I am wearing a mask when it comes to my makeup. So I want to make sure that everything is flowing together, everything is nice and fluid. So now that we have one side blended out, I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the other. And now let's go ahead and move on into blush. So like I said, when it comes to contouring enhances and brings out the natural shadows and depths in the face. Bronzing and bronzer helps to bring warmth back to the face. But when it comes to blush, blush is one of those products that helps to truly bring back natural saturation to the skin. Now, when it comes to blush, blush is also one of the first things to kind of sort of disappear from the face throughout the daytime. So it's okay to be a little bit heavier in your application. However, don't get too carried away. Like I said, less is always more. When it comes to choosing a blush, me personally, I like to keep it more so in the pink and rosier side of things, just because I find that those are what flatters me most. I notice that a lot of people who are my complexion or even people of color, they do like to oftentimes opt for orange toned blushes. Now, the reason why I feel as though that is their instant go-to is because when it comes to a lot of our bronzers and even a lot of our face colored options, we don't have many options in regards to bringing back warmth. Me personally, I've found a lot of different bronzers that work best for me in bringing back that warmth to my face without me having to opt for an orange blush. But a lot of times, a lot of us or a lot of people don't necessarily know that they have those options. But like I said, me personally, I love me a nice pink, a nice rosy, a nice peach blush. However, for today, I'm just gonna go in with something a little bit more on the natural side, and I'm gonna be using my Lifting Blush from MAC. As you guys can see, it is pretty berry rosier tone, and this is what's just gonna help to bring that natural warm saturation back to my skin. Again, we're going to smile, and not where we place our bronzer, but just a little bit above. As a matter of fact, directly on the apples of the cheeks. You're going to apply those same motions lightly and sweep on your cheekbones. And then whatever's left, you can blend that back and carry it up into your forehead. So as you can see, the skin is looking a lot more unified. And I also sometimes like to sweep my blush on my nose. Why not? Now, blush is also one of those things that, you know, it was like an old tale that Black people don't wear blush. And when I heard that, I was like, who don't? Like, I love me some blush. Like I said, when it comes to certain products, they just truly help to bring that natural essence back to the face. And then you can sweep whatever's left all over the face, literally like so. Next, let's move on because our complexion for the most part is done. Let's take our setting spray. I'm actually going to be using something that's more mattifying. Now, again, you do not need nor have to drench your face in setting spray. That is unnecessary. A couple of spritz to make sure that your face feels covered is more than enough. Now let's move on to eyebrows and eyes. When it comes to eyebrows, there are so many different ways to do eyebrows. And as a matter of fact, you guys, if you haven't done so already, number one, give this video a huge thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you guys like this type of content, and so that I know for myself so that I can continue to produce content like this. But also make sure that you guys are subscribing and you have your post notifications on so that you'll be notified when I do post videos in regards to beginner-friendly makeup, because I do want to do more of an in-depth tutorial on eyebrows, giving you guys a lot more information, but also showing you guys a routine that I think a lot of you will want to benefit from. It's going to be more so of a sculpted and fuller eyebrow. For today's video, however, we're going to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. What we're gonna do is literally just a nice everyday fill in and sculpt. So I don't necessarily have a pencil, or I don't think I do. If I do, I don't feel like looking for it. The easiest product that I can tell you guys to get is an eyebrow pencil that has a spoolie on one end with the product at the other end, because it's gonna save you so much time. Yes, I love my gels, I love my pomades, I love my powders, I love so many different eyebrow products, and you can use so many different products. However, if you're a beginner, going in with something that is convenient as an eyebrow pencil that comes with everything already attached to it, minus the concealer, that is all that you need. And then I don't feel like looking for that though, I'm gonna be taking my brushes today. I'm going to start by brushing my eyebrow hairs out in the direction that they naturally grow in, just so that I can get an idea of the shape. And now it's time to fill our eyebrows in. When it comes to filling in your eyebrows, a few things to keep in mind. If you are someone who hasn't gotten your eyebrows done and that's something that you do frequently, the hair that you take off from your eyebrows or that you get waxed or threaded off should not be the line that you follow in regards to doing your eyebrow. I always shave off the tail of my eyebrows so that my eyebrows can have more of a lifted look. So as you can see, my natural hair grows in a downward motion. I would not take my eyebrow product and follow it downward, because that's going to give me the opposite of the look that I'm going for. If anything, I would want to follow it in the shape and the direction that I personally like. So like I said, if you get your eyebrows waxed, don't follow the hair that's going to get waxed off. If anything, that's going to be the hair that we conceal and cover up. With that being said, let's go ahead and fill them in. I'm going to start with the arch of my eyebrow, about halfway through my eyebrow, and I'm literally just going to draw a line and flick it up. You guys probably can't see, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a little bit more product. We're going to start inside our eyebrow. I don't care about doing the line on the bottom, the line on the top. That'll come at a later date, you guys. That's eyebrow geometry, and we're not there yet. Like I said, start inside your eyebrows to fill them in and create that tail. And if you have naturally full eyebrows, this is actually unnecessary. You basically just want to fill in the areas that it looks sparse. And now that I have the tail of my eyebrow drawn and filled in, I'm going to take whatever's left on my brush. You, using your pencil, do the same thing. And I'm literally going to fill in, like I said, those sparse areas. And voila. So I'm going to take my spoolie, and you do the same. And to diffuse out this eyebrow a bit so that it has more of a natural ombre effect. Not too ombre, because I don't necessarily care for those. I think they're very gorgeous, and I do like them, but just for something everyday and natural, we're just going to brush it up to give it that natural ombre of our eyebrows. Voila. And depending on the type of person you are, you can leave your eyebrows just like this. They're nice and naturally filled in. However, me personally, I'm sure a lot of you watching this, you like to go for more of a cleaned up and sculpted brow. Now, we're not going to be doing, like I said, the geometry of sculpting our eyebrows today. However, we are going to clean them up. So I'm going to take my concealer, and if you guys notice in a couple of my videos, I don't go directly into my eyebrows. So going in with number one, a brush that's going to be nice and flat, but also has like a nice dome tapered shape to it. You're going to take that brush and you're going to dip into the brim of your concealer if you have a brim. If you don't, just apply it to the back of your hand and do the same thing. However, I'm going to take my concealer and my brush, I'm going to tap around the brim, and I'm going to use that to conceal and shape my eyebrows. So I like to, again, start with the tail, and I just follow that arch. And this is the place, if you made mess ups, you're definitely going to go in and go over those mess ups to create the shape that you know that you want. And now that I have my arch concealed, I still haven't blended anything out yet. I just created, like I said, that line. I'm gonna go into the front of my eyebrow and do the same thing and connect that to my tail. And this is where I take the product and then I start to extend it, and then I'll actually use my finger to blend out the rest of that product. So as you can see, you have the eyebrow that's nice and cleaned up, nice and sculpted, and the eyebrow that's just not filled in. It doesn't look bad whatsoever. However, you can see the difference between the cleanliness of the two. Now, when it comes to some tips that I can give you guys in regards to concealing your eyebrows, short strokes. Don't just go in trying to create a straight line. It's okay to take nice short strokes. Like I said, less is always more. You can build up on it, you can add on to it. But if you go in and you mess up, I mean, it's makeup, you can always start over. But it's just like, you know, why even allow yourself to get to that point? Take your time, it's okay. There will come a point in time where you are speeding through it. Just doing some nice short strokes, connecting them together. And then again, we're coming back to the front, like so. So the face is coming together very nicely. You honestly could stop actually, no, you can't, girl. Your eyelashes are missing. Duh. So actually, let's go ahead and do that now. I will not be showing you guys how to apply eyeliner and eyelashes in this particular video, just because that's not, in my opinion, realistic for a 10-minute routine for this type of routine, or especially for someone who's just now starting off. Not only is it not realistic, but I don't think that it's necessary either. However, that's not saying that it cannot be done, because me and my personal aesthetic, I love eyeliner and I do love false eyelashes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing them, just not for y'all. But as long as you have a really nice mascara, you will be set, I promise you. I'm gonna be taking my Big Bad Lash from Revlon, and I'm actually going to start by coating my eyelashes. Now, when it comes to coating my eyelashes, I like to make sure that I have a mirror that I can look downward on. And of course, you want to brush up into your eyelashes. But a tip that I give people, was a tip that I learned myself, was to actually brush back and forth to create a volume. And don't forget the root, but to create volume in your eyelashes. Look at that, that is pretty. And don't forget, if you want your eyelashes to be nice and coated, you can also go on top of your eyelashes and brush them as well. This will create fullness and drama. Applying that first coat and just brushing up into them will of course just coat your eyelashes. Going in a back and forth motion will help to create volume, and going on top of your eyelashes will help to create fullness. Now, one last tip in regards to creating length on your eyelashes is to of course blink into your mascara right on the tips. Girl, look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and coat my lower lashes as well as my other eye. So last but not least in our routine for today, you guys, I'm going to be applying my lips. So I'm going to be taking this brown lip liner. The reason why I personally like to go in with lip liners is because, as you guys can see, when my makeup is on, girl, it basically looks as though I have no lips. So I like for my lips to look nice, plump, and juicy. For those of you who don't necessarily care about overlining, this doesn't really apply to you, but me personally, I love to overline my lips. However, I don't like to go too far above it. So I like to follow this invisible line above my Cupid's bow, and then I'll extend it down into my lip. The reason why I personally like to go in with a dark brown or a brown is because my natural lip color is more of a brownish color, and then of course the center is more so pink. So if you're definitely going for a natural lip color, you want to make sure that you're doing the same. Your lip line or your lip liner should be the color of your natural lip line, and the lip color that you choose to put on the inside or the center of your lips should flatter or complement the lip color that you naturally have. But that's, like I said, if you're going for that natural lip. Like so. This actually looks good on its own, and I could just throw on a clear gloss and call it a day. However, I'm actually feeling more so of a pinkier lip today. That's not bad. Yeah, sit right here. And voila, this is the lip. Now, I kind of sort of want my lips to look a little bit juicier, so I'm going to take a clear lip gloss, a little bit more of a jellier consistency, and I'm going to apply that directly to the center of my lips. Now, the reason why I applied that directly to the center as opposed to all over my lip is because I do want my lips to have more of a plumpier and juicier effect. So if I apply it all over, my lips are just going to look a little bit too large for my particular liking. I always like them to make sure that, like I said, the center of the lips are just so plump. All right, you guys, so I'm going to let my hair down and I will be right back to close off this video with my closing remarks. Alright, you guys, this is the final look. Very nice, very simple, very cute if I might add myself. I don't do my makeup like this. Y'all know I live for a nice full glam or full coverage, whatever may have you. Even if it's a soft application, I do like a little bit more. But this, like, I don't know. I think this may be like my new routine or whatever, because this is actually very stunning. Like, I look nice and soft, like all of the above. But yeah, you guys, I thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you are someone who is just now starting off on your journey in regards to makeup, if you're the everyday girl, the person that's not trying to be a makeup artist and you just want to enhance your natural beauty, I truly hope that you found a lot of knowledge and inspiration within this video alone. Again, you guys, this is the first of many videos in regards to beginner-friendly makeup that I plan to produce for you guys. Not only that, you guys, don't hesitate checking out the other videos that I have on my channel in regards to makeup application. I am a professional makeup artist, so I have a lot of videos in regards to tips, a lot of videos in regards to my personal makeup application, and I do believe that I have some in regards to my clients as well. So definitely check those videos out, you guys. I do want to reassure you guys again that there's not one way to apply makeup. There's not one way to be a makeup artist. There's not one way to do anything in regards to makeup artistry. This is just personally what I find is going to be a little bit easier to some people, especially with the knowledge and the elaborative knowledge that I gave you guys in this video. But again, I thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, oh girl, I don't like hair being out of place. If you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed me, please give me a huge thumbs up, as well as a comment down below about what you guys thought about this video, what you'd like to see in future videos, or if you just want to leave a comment down below saying, hey B, what's going on, Bronze? I would greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to join this compact by hitting that subscribe button, as well as that bell button right beside it so that you get notified every single time that I upload. You can keep up with me in all of my endeavors on all of my social media platforms at Bronzemarley. I love you guys so much, and I thank you so much for tuning into this video and wanting to extend your knowledge in regards to makeup artistry. I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.